Now, in the last session, hope you remember, we have started our Boolean algebra. In the last session, we have started part 2 in our unit 2, that is Boolean algebra. And we are learning the axioms of Boolean algebra. And what are the different laws? We are going to see different laws. Okay, first we are going to complete. I am going to complete all these things, and we will come back. We are going to write some postulates as well as theorems in our notebook. Then we are going to do some problems. Now, actually, in the last class, we have started our Boolean algebra. Can someone tell me why we are learning this Boolean algebra, and who proposed this Boolean algebra? What is a axiom? The terms, the different terms what we have learned in our, here you can see axioms and the laws of Boolean algebra. Now, what are the operators we are using in Boolean algebra? What are the values it is taking in Boolean algebra? Can someone tell me? What is axiom? By unmuting your audio, please tell me something about the Boolean algebra. Why we are learning this Boolean algebra? What is the purpose of this Boolean algebra? Who proposed? And what are these axioms of Boolean algebra? What is the difference between an axiom and theorem? What is the difference between an axiom or theorem? Yeah, tell me.
Axiom means set of rules through which we can prepare theorems, sir.
Set of rules which we have to prove, whether we no need to prove these axioms.
No need to prove the.
No need to prove, sir.
Very good, very good. These axioms are predefined rules. These axioms are predefined rules. For these axioms, no need to prove the axioms whether they are true or false, like that. No need to. There are no proof for these axioms. Okay. Now, by using these axioms, we are defining some laws. By using these axioms, we are defining some laws or theorems. Now, why we are learning this Boolean algebra? Why we are learning this Boolean algebra?
For simplifying the logical expression.
For simplifying the
Logical expression without changing its functionality.
Very good. For simplifying the logical expression without changing its functionality, we are using this Boolean algebra. The laws are rules. The laws are rules that are there in this Boolean algebra. The rules are laws that are there in this Boolean algebra. By using those laws or by using those rules, we are simplifying the logical expressions. And why? What is the purpose of simplifying? Why we are simplifying those Boolean algebra? Why we are simplifying those logical expressions?
To decrease the complexity.
To decrease the complexity of the logical expressions. Okay, that is the one reason. Is there any other reason? Decrease the complex expression is there. Then we are by using those rules, we are simplifying the expression. We are writing. We are founding the minimized or simplified expression. Okay. Is there any other reason?
To decrease
the number of gates.
It will
Power
reduce the
consumption
number of gates. If you are the simplified expression to design a circuit, for this simplified expression to design a combinational to design the circuit, whether it may be a combinational or logical circuit, the circuit will take less number of gates. The circuit complexity will reduce. The circuit will take less number of gates. And if the circuit complexity is reduced, automatically the cost will be reduced. And the if you are reducing here, we are saying that the number of, if I am simplifying my expression, then the number of gates will be reduced. The number of gates will be reduced. If you are reducing the number of gates, automatically the cost of your circuit also will be reduced. Economically cheap. You can design economically cheap circuit by reducing the number of gates. And you are reducing, if you are reducing the gates, this automatically will reduce the power consumption. Suppose if you are reducing 100 gates, if you are reducing 100 gates, then how much power those 100 gates will take, that power will be reduced. Okay, all those advantages are there to reduce a complex logical expression into simplified logical expression by using Boolean algebra rules are the last what we have learned in our Boolean algebra. That is the reason we are learning this Boolean algebra. Now, who proposed this Boolean algebra? George Boole. Who proposed it? George Boole proposed this. Okay, this Boolean algebra. Now, what are the values? What are the two values it is taking the Boolean algebra? What are the two values it is considering? It is
True or
considering the two
false?
values.
Either
Zero.
true or false.
True, false.
Logical 0 or 1. Logical 0 or 1. False or true. Anything. Logical 0 or 1. False or true.
High or
Okay.
low?
High or low. High or low. Sorry. Low, comma, high. These are the two values what Boolean algebra is taking. Now, what are the two operators? What are the two binary operators it is considering? What are the two?
And or.
It is considering two binary operators. One is R. R we can represent it as a plus, and we can represent it as a dot or star, and we can represent it as a dot or star. These are the two binary operators. What about the unary operator? Which unary operator used by this Boolean algebra?
Not.
Not or negation. Okay, these are the things what we have discussed. I hope we have revised entire our last session. Now moving to the laws of Boolean algebra. The first law is the complement law. Already in complement law, the important thing what we have to remember, I told you, a complement, whole complement. If you are complementing a variable two times, if you are complementing a variable two times, what you are going to get?
Original value.
Original value. If I am complementing two times the same value, then I am going to get the original value. That is a complement, whole complement equal to a. This law, in this complement law, we have to remember the important point: a complement, whole complement equal to a. Or double complementation will give you the original value. Coming to the R law, in R law, coming to the R law, what we have seen in our last class, R law. The important things in R law is the important things what we have learned in R law is x plus 0 or 0 plus x, both are same. I am writing in you know your mathematics commutative law, associative or commutative law, like that I am writing this commutative property. X plus 0 or 0 plus x equal to what? X. Now x plus 1 or 1 plus x equal to what?
1.
These are the two things, two important things what you have to remember. 1, x plus 1 or 1 plus x equal to 1. Okay, now the remaining we are going to see x plus x equal to x. This is also very important thing. What you have to remember, x plus x equal to x. Now, sir, how x plus x equal to x? That we are going to see. This we should prove. How x plus x equal to x? That we should prove. Okay, how we can prove? We can prove in two ways: by considering logic gates is one way, or by considering truth table is the another way. By considering truth table is the another way. The simplest way is by considering the truth table. Now x plus x, whether I am getting x plus x equal to x. Now here I am considering two values, x and x. Both the values are x only. Now I am performing what operation? I am performing x plus x. What operation I am performing? X plus x. X plus x is nothing but OR operation I am performing. Are you understanding what I am doing here, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If it is a x, so we have only two values. Okay. Suppose if it is a two values 0 0, now 0 1 1 0
1 1.
1 1. Generally I am writing a two variable concept, but here both first value as well as second value is same. Both here the first value as well as second value is same. Whatever the x you are giving, the same x only it is taking. Whatever the x you are giving, the same x only it is taking. Am I clear? Now 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, what you are going to get? 0.
0.
1 plus 1, what you are going to get?
1.
Okay. Now, why I have considered only these two cases? Because these two cases never will occur. Never happened. Never occur. Why? Because what is the expression you are writing? What is the expression you are writing? X plus x. X plus x. You are writing the expression as x plus x equal to x. That means whatever the value you are giving x here, the same value x you need to provide here also. That is the reason I have taken only these two combinations. Now x equal to 0. If first value is 0, second value also I should consider it as same. 0 plus 0, you are going to get 0. Now 1 plus 1, what you are going to get? 1. That means whatever the value you are giving as a x, the same value you are going to get as a output. That is the reason x plus x we can treat it as, you can consider it as x. Sir, why we have to learn this rule, or why we have to remember this law? Wherever you find, whenever you are simplifying the expressions, whenever you are simplifying the expressions, whenever you see this kind of situation, suppose if you see a plus a, in this case these two you can write it as simply a, these two, this you can write it as a. For that sake we are learning that R law. Okay, a plus a equal to a plus a equal to a. Hope, am I clear? Am I clear this one? In further okay, after learning the logic gates, once again I will come back, then I can show you in logic gate point of view. Okay, I can see whether these theorems are proved here or not, these laws are proved here or not. Okay, now see here, law 2. Okay, this only what I said in the paint in my window, a plus a equal to a, that is what we have seen, x plus x equal to x. Now how he is proving? A equal to 0. If I consider a equal to 0, that is what I have done. If I consider x equal to 0, what is the expression will become? 0 plus 0. If I consider x equal to 1, what is that expression will become? That expression
1.
will become 1
1
plus 2.
plus
That
1.
is what he has shown the proof. That is what he has shown the proof. A plus a equal 0 plus 0 equal to 0. 1 plus 1 equal to 1. Why we are getting a as a output? Whatever the input you are giving, the same output you are getting. That is the reason you can consider it as a plus a equal to a. These are simple rules only. Okay, now see here the next one important one regarding the R law. All these comes under the R law. Okay, now the next important one, what we should consider it as x plus x bar. Okay, this is very important. So many times you see this expression x plus x bar, or x bar plus x, x bar plus x. Tell me what is the answer?
1.
One very important thing. So many times we are using this R law rule, this law we are using, x plus x bar. So many times we are writing a plus a bar. So many times we are writing a plus a bar. A plus a bar, or a bar plus a equal to 1. Okay, this you have to remember. This is also one of the important. This comes under R law. A plus a bar, or a bar plus a equal to 1. This is very important thing what we have to remember in R law. Now moving to the AND law. Moving to the next one is AND law. What are the AND? By using AND operator, what are the laws we are going to learn? In AND law, coming to the AND operation, when we are performing AND operation, and I already told you AND is same as multiplication operation, OR is same as addition. Now x dot 0, tell me what is the answer you are going to get.
0.
R 0 dot x, both are same only. X
0.
dot 0, 0 dot x equal to
0.
now x dot 1, R 1 dot x,
X.
x. Very good. Simple only. These nothing is there. X dot x, R x dot x,
X.
x. We are going to get x only. X dot x, x only. Okay. Now x dot x bar,
0.
x bar dot x, 0. Very good. Those who are saying 0. Okay. These are the rules. These are the AND rules. Sir, why AND rules? See here, I am using AND operator. Dot is nothing but AND operator. Dot is nothing but AND operator. Okay. Theorems are proofs for these laws. Simple only. How we have proved earlier, you can take in the same manner. You are going to get the answer what we have seen here. Those are the laws. Okay. Null. Why? Because we are getting 0. He's saying that null law, identity law, those are not required. Now commutative law, a plus b equal to b plus a. How we can prove commutative law, a plus b equal to b plus a? Okay, both are same, commutative law. Now what here in commutative law, what here we have to understand, our operator plus as well as our operator dot both are satisfying the commutative law. Okay, in binary operator point of view, here you know the proofs, how we are proving, simple proofs only. Here what we have to understand, the operators and or operator are commutative in nature. And or operator are commutative in nature. That word you have to remember. The operator plus the operator and both are commutative in nature. That you have to remember. That is the point, not these proofs. Why? Because by considering the true or false, by considering zeros and ones, you can prove easily what is a commutative. Now in the same way, associative, both plus operator, both dot operator, both are associative in nature. Both are associative in nature. Am I going speed? Am I going speed? Can someone unmute and tell me why? Because these are your mathematic rules only. These are some mathematics rules only, or mathematic laws only, but we are learning in Boolean algebra point of view. You know, in mathematics, commutative law, associative law, distributive law, identity law, idempotent law, like that you have learned all these mathematics laws or theorems. There you have learned proofs also. Okay, in here also the same thing, but here what we have to consider in our operators point of view. Okay, in our operators point of view, the two binary operators point of view, how we should understand this concept in our Boolean algebra. The dot operator, that means AND operator as well as OR operator are in commutative in nature. AND operator as well as OR operator is associative in nature. AND operator as well as OR operator is distributive in nature. That we have to understand. In that way, we have to understand the operators whenever we are studying these laws are rules in Boolean algebra point of view. Now associative law, in the same way you can prove these associative law, distributive law also. Okay, now these are the important laws you have to remember, and you have to note down in your notebook point of view. Now a plus a bar equal to a plus a bar equal to a plus a bar b equal to ab, a plus a bar b equal to ab. Okay, now how this a plus a bar b equal to ab, that we have to learn. Okay, now see here. Okay, simple only. Okay, if you are if you are good in mathematics, all these things are you can perform within fraction of seconds. A plus a bar b, a plus a bar b equal to I can write it as A plus B. Now here everyone can prove this one. Okay, everyone can, you can prove this simply. Now how we can prove this one? Plus is distributed over dot. By using that principle, plus is distributed over dot. Now what we are doing, I am writing this as A plus A bar, A plus A bar. Now I am writing this as dot A plus B. Sir, how you are writing this thing? Now we should consider it as a plus. The plus operator is distributed over dot. Plus operator is distributed over dot. Okay. Now in this way we can write. In this way we can write. Everyone, are you understanding? Now in this way we can write. Now just now we have seen A plus A bar equal to 1. A plus A bar equal to 1. R rule. A plus A bar equal to 1. Now 1 into A plus B. 1 into A plus B. 1 into A plus B. Now this 1 into A plus B. Now also just now we have learned 1 into x or x into 1 equal to x only. 1 into x or x into 1 x into 1 equal to x. In that way I can write this as A plus B. Sir, why we have to learn all these things? Whenever you see this kind of expression in your logical expressions, you can write directly this as in this format. If you see this A plus A bar B, you can write it directly as A plus B. There you have to mention the law or rule. What is that law or what is that rule you have used there? Okay, redundant law or redundant rule. Okay. Everyone, are you understanding what we are doing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is the proof. This is the proof that you can see. Sir, how this is in Boolean algebra? This is possible. In Boolean algebra, this is possible. In Boolean algebra, this is possible. We can write it as generally what we have, what we can see in our regular mathematics. This we can see. Dot is distributed over plus. Dot is distributed over plus. That means this I can write it as A dot A plus A dot B. Okay. This we are considering it as dot is distributed over plus. Dot is distributed over plus. Okay. These two things are possible. Here plus is distributed over dot. Plus is distributed over dot. Here the dot is distributed over plus. Okay. This we can write it as A dot A plus A dot B. Generally, how we are writing in our regular mathematics? Simply A into A R plus AB. In this way we are writing in our regular mathematics or not?
Yes,
That
sir.
the same thing. The same thing here we have written in this manner. That's all. Both are same. But this is not there in our regular mathematics. This is not there. This A plus AB in our mathematics, we are not writing in this manner. Okay, this is not same as this in our regular mathematics. Here in our regular mathematics, in our basic mathematics, we are not saying plus is distributed over dot, but in our Boolean algebra we can write it as this. You can write it as plus is distributed over dot. That we can write it as A plus A bar dot A plus B. In this way we can write this expression. We can write it as in this way. That is the reason this expression we can convert into A plus B. Am I clear? Am I clear? Are you following? Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. That is okay. These are the rules, idempotence law and everything. Okay. Now absorption law. Now these are the important things what we have to consequence theorem actually not required for us up to here, up to absorption law. We have to remember, and we have to know. We have to definitely we have to remember each and every law. Each and every law. Now, see here. Here also a plus ab. A plus ab. We can write it as a. A plus ab. We can write it as ab. Now, can someone tell me? I think so. Here he is giving clear proofs. Now, tell me. Can someone tell me how a plus ab equal to a? How a plus ab equal to a? How a plus ab equal to
A common.
okay, you take a as a common, otherwise don't generally that we are following our in our regular mathematics, that we are following in our regular mathematics. What you are saying a as a common, that we can, you can consider, you can we are doing in our regular mathematics, but here how we can write this, we can treat it as a, suppose if I treat, okay, a plus a once again a plus a, okay. You are correct. You are correct. Here we should take a as a common. If I take a as a common, then we can write it as then we can write it as a
A into 1 plus
into
B.
1 plus b.
1 plus b. A into 1 plus b. This 1 plus b, we know that 1 plus x or x plus 1 equal to 1.
1.
In that way, a into 1. A into 1.
1 equal to A.
A into 1 equal to a. A into 1 equal to a. Okay. In that way we can prove all those rules or theorems you have to remember while doing the problems. Okay. Now just note down. Okay, I am dictating the notes. Okay, just note down some postulates as well as already what we have discussed here, the same thing only. Just note down your running notes point of view, then we will move to the problems, as well as the next concept, duality property, or how we can simplify the logical expressions, everything we are going to see one by one. Okay, if you have your running notes with you, please open your running notes and write down the write a heading as EV Huntington postulates. Okay, if you don't have, please take any notebook, whatever available with you. Please take a notebook and write down the points what I am explaining here. Write down the points what I am explaining here. Write down the points, then we will move to the next concept. After completion of this notes dictation, we will move to the next points and we will see one by one. Now, write down EV Huntington postulates. He is also one of the mathematician and EV Huntington postulates. We can call it as EV Huntington postulates. Make a heading as EV Huntington postulates. EV Huntington postulates. EV Huntington postulates. EV Huntington postulates. I hope you already written in your notebook. Write down EV Huntington postulates. Boolean algebra is an algebraic structure defined a set of elements. I'm repeating the sentence. Boolean algebra is an algebraic structure. Boolean algebra is an algebraic structure defined a set of elements. Boolean algebra is an algebraic structure defined a set of elements. Defined a set of elements. Defined on set of elements together with the two binary operators. 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 What are the two binary operators?
And
Or.
Okay, directly you can write it as a symbols. Okay, and you can write it as a plus, and or you can write it as a star or dot. Okay, AND operation, you can write it as a star or dot. I hope everyone are you writing your running notes? Okay. Okay. These are the things that we required for our uh, problem solving. Okay. That we have completed already. That is the reason I am dictating the notes. Now, the first property, the first one is closure with respect to. Okay. After writing the two operators, with the two binary operators plus star. The first point, closure with respect to plus. Closure with respect to plus. Can someone tell me what is closure with respect to plus? Closure with respect to
And
plus. Closure with respect to plus. By considering natural number as an example. Okay. By regular. This is same for your natural numbers also. Closure with respect to plus. Can you give me one example? Closure with respect to plus. By taking one natural number as an example. Now see here, 1 plus 2. What is the result we are getting?
3.
3.
1 plus 2. What is the result we are getting?
3.
3.
3. Now, it is within the range of natural numbers or not? 3 is
Yes.
3 is within the range of natural numbers or not? Now, if you take any two numbers, any two natural numbers, and if you apply plus, that is plus, we are considering it as closure with respect to plus. That means not only here, that is also true in our Boolean algebra also. That is also true in our Boolean algebra also. That is closure with respect to plus. Closure with respect to plus. In the same way, the second point, closure with respect to dot. 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 Okay. Next make heading as identity. Identity, or we can call it as identity law or identity postulate. Identity. Next make a heading as identity. An identity element with respect to plus is designated by. An identity element with respect to plus is designated by. An identity element with respect to plus is designated by. An identity element with respect to plus is designated by. You have to give me the answer. Okay. These are the two expressions you can write down. These are the two expressions you can write down. Identity. In the same way, identity with respect to star or dot. With respect to star or dot. Identity with respect to star or dot. X dot 0 or 0 dot x equal to what? X dot 1 or 1 dot x equal to what? 0 here, x here. Now, identity element with respect to itself, what? X. Here also, x plus x equal to what? X plus x equal to x only. Just now we have seen all these things. Okay, just now we have seen all these things. Okay. Now that is an identity. Okay, that we can consider it as an identity. All these comes under the identity rules. Now, commutative. Commutative. Next, make a heading as commutative. 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 A commutative element with respect to x. Commutative element with respect to plus. With respect to plus. How we can write commutative? A commutative element with respect to plus. We can write it as x plus y is equal to y plus x. Commutative element with respect to plus, we can write it as x plus y equal to y plus x. In the same way, commutative element with respect to star or dot, we can write it as x star y equal to y star x. Okay, if you completed, next moving to the distributive. Moving to the distributive. Moving to the distributive. Now, in distributive, I already told you dot is distributed over plus. Dot is distributed over plus. Okay, dot is distributed over plus. That we can write it as x dot y plus z. Dot is distributed over plus. Okay, here, okay, I can simply erase it. X is distributed over, sorry, dot is distributed over plus. Dot is distributed over plus. This I can write it as x dot y plus x dot z. This we can call it as dot is distributed over plus. In the same way, if plus is distributed over dot, plus is distributed over dot, plus is distributed over dot. Okay, how I can write x plus yz, x plus yz. Okay, this is possible only in Boolean algebra only. This is possible only Boolean algebra. Now in your mathematics, this is not possible. X plus y dot x plus z, plus is distributed over dot, plus is distributed over dot, plus is distributed over dot. Next, complement. The next make a heading as complement. 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 Next, make a heading as complement. For every element x belongs to B, 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 there exists an element x dash belongs to B. For every element there exists x belongs to B. Suppose if there is the element x belongs to B, there exists an element x dash belongs to B also. Every element having its complement element. Okay. Already we have learned in our decimal number system. What is the complement of 7? What is the complement of 7?
3.
What is the complement of 6?
4.
Oh, I hope you are understanding. You are getting my points. Okay. There exists an complement element x dash belongs to B. Now, if you are performing 2 times complement, so double complement, what happens? X complement whole complement equal to
Same number.
same number. We are getting
Yes,
the
sir.
okay. Now, if you are performing R operation on complement value, what happens? X plus x dash equal to x dash plus x equal to
1.
1. If you are performing same AND operation, x dot x dash
0.
0.
x dash plus x 0. Okay. These are the rules you have to remember. Okay. These are the things you have to remember. And uh, some more one table is there here. Why unnecessary wasting the time? Okay. These are the rules. These are some points regarding the having here. I have not discussed any postulate. Okay. Don't worry. I can share those postulates. I can I have a pic. I can share that pic to your class CR. You can leave some space, some half page space. You can leave some half page space. I can send you that pic and you can note down later. Now moving to the next concept in our syllabus. Okay, without wasting our time, moving to the next concept that is there in our okay. Next one is duality principle. Okay, the next one is duality property. Next topic in our syllabus is duality property. Okay, duality property. What is this duality property? Duality concept. Okay, what is this duality concept? Is this duality concept that we are going to see? No. Now, what is this duality property or duality concept? What is this duality concept? Now, first I take one example. I consider one example. Then now duality is nothing but suppose if I consider this as an example, AB plus CD. Okay, I have taken some simple example. This expression ABCD. Now, what is the dual of this expression? What is the dual of this expression? Okay, this is a simple expression what I have taken. Now, what is the dual? Dual is nothing but what we are doing whenever we are calculating the duals of this expression or duality property. Wherever you find star operator, whenever you are finding the dual of the given expression, you can replace that star with plus. You can replace that star with plus. Wherever you find plus in the given expression, you can replace that plus with star. Wherever you see plus, that plus you can replace with star. Wherever you see identity elements, sir, what are the identity elements, sir? Suppose if you see 0, you can replace this 0 with 1. Wherever you see 1, you can replace that 1 with 0. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes,
What
sir.
I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you are finding the dual of the given expression, what you have to do is, wherever you see in the given expression the star we are replacing with the plus. In the same way remaining, if I see plus, that plus I am replacing with the star. Sir, what are these? What are these? These are the identity elements. These are the identity elements. 0 and 1, we can consider it as identity elements. Now, if you see the identity elements, you can reverse those identity elements. Identity element. If you see the identity elements, those identity elements you can reverse. If you see 0, you can replace that 0 with 1. If you see 1, you can replace that 1 with 0. Sir, why? Why? Because just now I have not completed all the postulates of E.V. Huntington. I have not completed the Huntington postulates. Just now we have written some postulates, E.V. Huntington postulates. Okay, some rules we have defined, some rules we have written, Huntington postulates. Now, this mathematician has proposed some postulates. This mathematician has proposed some postulates. I can forward those postulates to you, don't worry. Now, those postulates we can divide into two parts, part A and part B. Those postulates we can divide into part A and part B. Part A and part B. Part A and part B. Now, in part A, all the postulates what you can see, that those postulates are defined by using plus operator. All postulates, those are defined with plus operator. In part B, all the postulates what you can see, those are defined with star operator, star operators. Now, you can easily convert from part A postulate into one postulate into another postulates. How? If you replace the plus operator with a star, then whatever the postulates you have defined. Okay, I can take one postulate. Why? Because some people may get a doubt. Sir, what are the postulates you are saying? We are not understanding. Now, there is one postulate, postulate 2. We can call it as a postulate 2. Just now we have seen that also. No, just now we have seen. X plus 0 is my postulate. X plus 0 is my postulate. What you are going to get, x plus 0 equal to x. Now, what operator I am using here? What operator I am using here?
Plus.
Plus.
Or.
Plus means that comes under this side only. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
This comes under this side only. Now, what happens now? How I am replacing this with the part B? Now, what I have to do if I want to calculate the dual for this one? Now, this will become x dot
0.
x dot 1 equal to x. This will become x. Now, both are duals with each other. Both are the duals of each other. Now, that is what I have not explained all the postulates because of time constraint. Why I need to explain each and everything, why I should dictate like that. I thought that is the reason I am moving to the next concept. Now, this is one postulate. Which will be defined by E.V. Huntington. This we already seen. Now, this is part A. This comes under the part A. Why I am using plus operator. Now, the same you can define in part B. How you can define part B? We should replace that plus with the dot. X dot 1 equal to x. X dot 1 equal to x. In the same way, all the postulates that are there in part A, if you know one side, all the postulates that are there in part A, if you interchange like this, or if you find the duals, you are going to get part B postulates. No need to do anything. If you find the duals, then you are going to get the part B postulates. There you are going to get the part B postulates. Now, for this expression, now you have to tell me what are the duals of what is the dual of this expression? What is the dual of this?
AB dot CD.
AB dot C.
A plus B into C plus D.
Very good. A plus B into C plus D. A plus B into C plus D. Always remember, whenever you are doing problems on Boolean algebra, if nothing is there in between, you have to assume that there is a dot operator. Dot Every time he is not mentioning the dot operator, we have to assume that there is an AND operator between these two variables, these two terms, these two variables, there is an AND operator. How we are replacing and we are replacing with plus. That is the reason this will become this and this will become this, and this plus we are converting into this. I hope you are getting my point. I hope you are
Yes.
understanding. That is the duality property which we are using whenever we required. We are using this duality property in our Boolean algebra. Okay, that is what he is explaining. Duality concept is that once a theorem or statement is proved, the dual is also thus stand proved. Nothing to, if you are proving part A, if you are proving part A, that is what I have explained. If you prove this theorem, x plus x equal to x, x plus x equal to x. Now, what is the dual of this one? X plus x equal to x. What is the dual of this one?
X into X equal to
X
X.
dot X is equal
X,
to.
x dot x equal to x. This is the dual of this one. Now, dual of this expression is this. If you prove this one, no need to prove the second one. That is what he is saying. If dual statement, if statement is proved, if one statement is proved, the dual is also thus stand proved. This is called as duality principle. Now see here what we are doing. We are not changing anything. Variables we are not changing. A, B, C as it is. If it is a identity elements, 0 we are replacing with 1, 1 we are replacing with 0, and plus we are replacing with dot, and dot we are replacing with plus. Am I clear?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
clear?
Yes.
Am I clear? Dual is different, complement is different. Dual is different, complement is different. Don't think that both dual and complement are same. Dual is different, complement is different. I can tell you the complement. Okay, what is the complement? Complement of a given function. I can tell you. Okay, I have not yet given the definition of Boolean expression or Boolean function. Then after discussing the Boolean function, then we will see the complement of Boolean function. What is a complement? Okay, that is about the duality property or duality concept that is there in our syllabus point of view. Now, these are the duals. These are the duals of the given expression. These are the duals of the given expression. Okay. Now, if you see, these are the duals. Okay, left side as well as right side. Now I am not changing anything. Simply I am changing the identity values. What is the identity element here? 0. 0 I am replacing with 1. I am not changing any complement here. 0 complement 1, 1 complement 0. 0. Don't think that I am saying the complement here in this table. Here he is showing the duals of the given expression. A dot A. That dot we are replacing with plus. A dot A equal to A plus A equal to A. A dot A bar equal to 0. A dot A bar equal to 0. Now I am replacing with this dot with plus. A plus A bar equal to 1. Why 1? This 0 is an identity element. This 0 we are replacing with 1. That is what I have said. If you know the left side postulates, if you know the part A postulates, no need to remember the part B postulates. If you replace all the operators with other operator, all the plus operator with the dot operator and dot operator with plus, and if you replace all the identity elements, then you are going to get the other side. I hope you are getting my point now. Before going to sum of product or product of sums, now what is a Boolean function? Okay, this is an important definition or this Boolean function. Based on this Boolean function only, we are going to see, we are going to do some problems, how we are simplifying the problems, how we are doing, how we are reducing the expression, logical expression. Now, what is a Boolean expression? Can you please note down the definition? Then we'll come back the explanation part. Make a heading as Boolean function. Make a heading as Boolean function. Please note down in your running notebooks or whatever the notebook available with you. Please note down Boolean function. Boolean algebra is an algebra that deals with binary variables. Boolean algebra is an algebra that deals with binary variables. Boolean algebra is an algebra that deals with binary variables and logic operations and logic operations and logic operations and logic operation. Full stop. A Boolean function described by an algebraic expression. A Boolean function described by an algebraic expression. Boolean function is described by an algebraic expression consists of binary variables and binary operators. 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 Now here I am writing one example, then I will come back to the definition. Okay, just I will come back, just wait, I can explain the definition. Please go through, please read the definition once, please read the definition once. Why? Because it is easy only, it is easy only, nothing is there to understand there. Now, what is this Boolean function or logic? The logic expression, what I am saying, the logical expression from starting class onwards. When I am starting Boolean algebra, I am saying that logical expression, logical expression, logical expression. Now, Boolean algebra is an algebra. Boolean algebra is an algebra. It can take only two values. It can take only two values, that is 0 and 1. Okay. By using Boolean elements, by using Boolean values, by using Boolean elements or Boolean values, suppose if you have written one expression, by using Boolean variables, okay, we can call it as a Boolean variables. By using Boolean variables, if you have defined an expression, if you have written one expression, that expression we can call it as Boolean function. That expression we can call it as Boolean function. Here the example what I have written here is a simple one Boolean function. Simply what you can see here, it is same as how you are writing your mathematical expressions. Suppose if I want to add two numbers, what is the expression? How I can write an expression? C equal to A plus B. This is an expression or not? These two are the variables, or in your programming terminology, operands. These are two, you can call it as a variables, and this is my operator. This is my operator. This is also operator in your mathematics point of view, equal to operator. And after performing this operation, the value will be stored in this C, this variable. Now here, the Boolean function is nothing but it is a expression. But how with this expression we are defining? By using these Boolean variables, as well as the Boolean operators. The two Boolean operators what we are using, we are defining this expression. We are writing this expression by considering the Boolean variables as well as the Boolean operators what we are using. Whether it may be a unary operator or binary operators. Here we are using unary as well as binary operators. Sir, what are the binary operators? Now if you take the first term, we can call it as a term, first term. Here, for this complement, you should use one operator, that is not operator you should use. For this complement also you should use not operator. For this total term, in order to get this term, we have to perform AND operation. We need to perform AND operation. A complement dot B complement dot C. Now this is my complete expression. This expression we can call it as a Boolean function. This expression we can call it as Boolean function. It is simple only. I hope you are getting what I am saying. If you are understanding what I am saying. Am I clear? Am I clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Am I clear? These are simple things only. These are simple things and simple definitions are simple theorems. That is the reason I am quickly going the topic. Quickly I am moving from one topic to another topic. Okay. Actually, in the examination point of view, these are not required for us. I don't know your paper pattern. I hope your paper pattern is anyone know the paper pattern, the end exam paper pattern, the external exam paper pattern. I hope you have not written your first semester exam. That is the reason so many people don't know the paper pattern. What is the paper pattern? How many sections that are there in your paper?
2 sections.
2 sections. What are the 2 sections? What are the 2 sections? Part A and part B. Section A and section B are part A and part B. What about part A? How many marks do you have?
1 mark. 1.
What? What about part A?
10 questions, 1 mark.
Marks, I don't know, but it contains one question from each unit. It contains one question from each unit, and total marks for all the questions are 10 marks. Whether some question may have 1 mark, some questions may have 2 marks. I don't know that, but it should cover all your 6 units. It should cover all your 6 units. And this part is a mandatory part. It is a compulsory part. Everyone, you have to write this part. Everyone, you have to compulsory write this part. This part having a marks of 10 marks. Now coming to the part B. Here also here you need to write 6 questions. Here you need to write 6 questions, and every question having a 10 marks. Every question having 10 marks. 6 into 10, totally 60 marks. Totally 60 marks for part B. But in part B you have choice. Suppose if you want to write unit 1. Suppose for every unit you have internal choice. For every unit you have internal choice. For unit 1 you have internal choice like either 1 or either 2. Both 1 and 2 are from unit 1 only. Both the questions from unit 1 only. You have to write one question. Among these 2 questions, you have to one question internal choice. Unit wise internal choice will be there. You can choose any one of the question, and each question carries equal marks, 10 marks. Totally here you need to write from each and every unit. You need to write one question. Totally you need to write 6 questions. 6 into 10, 60 marks. Okay, 60 marks for your part B. This is your question paper pattern. Now, why I am telling all these definitions? Because sometimes for 2 marks or 1 mark, sometimes for 2 marks or 1 marks, there may be a chance of getting one question. Explain or define Boolean function. Like that you are going to get some questions in part A. Sometimes you may get question in part A. That is the reason I am giving the definitions. Why I am dictating the definitions? Because sometimes I have not explained a duality property. Please note down. That is there in the material. Don't worry. I can forward this material to you. In the same way, duality property also. Please explain duality property. Sometimes you may get a question, one question in your external examination in part A. Explain about duality property. Can you give me some example? Explain about the duality property. Like that he may ask question. Explain about duality property. Everyone, are you understanding what I'm saying? Are you getting?
Yes.
Are you understanding? Now that is the reason I am dictating some definitions. Some definitions you can find. All these definitions you can find in the internet, but better if you write in your running notebook, or if you are writing in your notebook, that will be there in forever. You can read whenever you require. Okay. Now Now this is the Boolean function. Now here we have to understand the introduction what I have explained. Okay, just wait, I can erase this expression, I can write once again. I hope you are writing the running notes. I don't know how many people are writing the running notes, or whether you are writing or you are not writing the running notes. I don't know, but better to write these running notes. That will help. Okay, no, f equal to, what is the expression I have written? A bar b, a complement b complement c, f equal to a complement b complement c plus a complement bc plus a complement bc, a complement bc plus a b complement, a b complement. Okay, this is the example Boolean function what I have taken. Now this I am calling it as a logical expression. This I am calling it as a logical expression or Boolean function. Now actually, for which expressions we are designing the circuit. Suppose if I design circuit for this expression, if I design circuit for this expression, now how many gates I required, how to design the circuit for this expression, I am going to show you. Just wait. Now here, how many inputs we have? How many inputs we have?
3 inputs.
Three.
Three inputs. Okay, I have not explained the logic gates, but see how much you understood. You can understood that much. Whenever I am explaining the logic gates, once again I will come back here, then you will get a better understanding. These are the three input lines. These are the three input lines or three input values A, B, C. Now here I am taking directly the complemented output of each and every input variable, complement output. Now, how I am taking the complement input? Here I am drawing one uh, gate. Here I am drawing one gate, whether it is visible to you or not. This is the NOT gate symbol. This is the NOT gate symbol. This is one logic gate, NOT gate. It will complement whatever the input you are providing. That will be complemented by this NOT gate. That will be complemented by this NOT gate. If you observe clearly, I am drawing the NOT gate every time I am using that bubble symbol. That is the bubble symbol is important. Okay, this is the NOT gate symbol. This is the NOT gate symbol. It looks like similar to triangle, but the bubble must be compulsory. If you are not writing that bubble, if you are not, some people may what they think, uh, uh, for beauty sake, sir has written this bubble, not for the beauty sake, because there is a reason. If you are not writing that bubble, if you are not drawing that bubble, if you are not drawing that bubble, this we can call it as a buffer. This I can call it as a buffer symbol. This is a buffer symbol. Can you tell me what is buffer? What is a buffer? This is the NOT gate symbol. Can someone tell me what is buffer? What do you mean by buffer? Where you hear the word buffer?
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Okay, okay. Actually,
Mobiles.
in mobiles, when can you give me the example where when you hear that
When
buffer?
you watching YouTube or something.
Video.
Okay, okay. When you are downloading any movie, we can see one message buffering. Okay, continuous buffering. Actually,
Yes,
this
sir.
buffer is a this buffer is a computer word. This buffer is a computer word. Okay, not a chemistry word. You can see in chemistry also, I don't know, but a buffer is a computer word. Buffer is nothing but a temporary storage. Buffer is nothing but temporary storage. In storage, we are using this buffer word, temporary storage. Suppose if you want to store some value temporarily, if you want to store some value some temporarily, there you can use the buffer concept. Okay, buffer. There you can use the word buffer. Buffering means the example what you have said. The example what you have said. When you are watching the movie, the movie will be loaded to your your device. The movie should be loaded to your device. Why it is showing the buffering symbol? Because of the space requirements are not sufficient. The space requirement, whatever the space available in your mobile phone, the space is not sufficient. What you are downloading, or whatever the movie or whatever the song you are downloading, the space mismatches are there. That is the reason it is showing buffering. Buffering means slowly it is downloading, slowly it is loading, slowly it is loading. Okay, leave about that example. Simply remember buffer means temporary storage. Simply remember buffer means temporary storage. What happens here? See here, whatever the input you are giving, the same output you are getting. If you are giving input as 1, what is the output you are going to get here? If it is a buffer, whatever the input you are giving, the same input it is giving as a output. But not in this case. But not in this case. It is a NOT gate, but not in this case. In this NOT gate, what happens? In this NOT gate, what happens? Suppose if you are giving input as 1, it is giving output as 0. If you are giving input as 0, then it is giving output as 1. Am I clear? Am I clear these points? Now that bubble plays a very important. Why I have explained all these things? Because of some people may forgot that whenever they are drawing the circuit diagrams, they are forgetting the bubble. The bubble plays very important. Wherever you see the bubble, not only in the NOT gate, wherever you see the bubble in logic circuits, or circuit diagram, that will complement your input. Now here I can get a complement. Okay, if I connect here, I can get a complement. If I connect here, I can get B complement. I can connect here I can get C complement. I hope you are getting. Now for this term, how I can design this term? I need one 3 input AND gate. I need one 3 input AND gate. This is my 3 input AND gate. What are the inputs I should connect to this 3 input AND gate? Here I am connecting A complement. This is my A complement. Now that is the input I am giving. Now second input is B complement. That B complement I am connecting here. This input I am giving to my AND gate. What is the third input? C. It is only C. It is not a complement. Now C, okay, because of space constraint. Okay, because of space constraints. Now I am taking from C here. Now this is my C. This is my A complement. This is my B complement. Okay. Now I don't want to draw the complete circuit diagram. Why? Because now if you understand, you can understand here. In the same way, the second gate. In the same way, second AND gate. In the same way, second AND gate. In the same way, third AND gate. Now second AND gate, how many inputs are required? How many input AND gate is required? A 3 input AND gate is required. A 3 input AND gate is required for, because it is a 3 variable term. Now for third gate, only 2 input AND gate is sufficient. 2 input AND gate is sufficient. Now these three outputs, where I am connecting these three outputs, I am taking these three outputs, I am connecting to finally one OR gate. Finally one 3 input OR gate. 3 input OR gate. Okay, this is my 3 input OR gate. Finally this is my F. This is my F. This is my F. Am I clear? Here I am not connecting because of time constraint. You can connect. Okay. Here, what is the term here? Here you can connect to this. You can connect to A dash. This you can connect to B dash. Why? Okay, I can connect here only. Why? Because some people may get doubt. Okay. Here, this is my B, and this is my C. Okay. This is my C. Okay. Now for for your better understanding, okay, this you can consider it as these are the connections. These are the dotted points are the connections. Okay, now here A B complement. Okay, this is my A and this is my B complement. Okay, A and B complement. Now this is the final output. Sir, why you have drawn? Now, for this logical expression, this is the circuit. For this logical expression, this is the final circuit, what I can draw. Okay. This we are implementing in our hardware by buying all these basic logic elements. This is the logic and symbol. This is the logic R symbol. Why? Because I have not explained the logic gates. That is the reason I am not going in depth regarding these logic gates. Whenever we are seeing what this logic gate will perform, how it will work, that you can understand it easily. But my question is whether I can take this as my final output. Can I simplify this further? Can I simplify this expression further? Can someone tell me if I can simplify further? What is the minimized expressions? You have to tell me by using the laws or by using the rules what we have seen up to now, how you can simplify and how we can simplify this expression and what is the final expression? Tell me. Whether this is the final one or I can simplify further this expression. That is my question. If you say yes, sir, we can simplify further. Now, tell me what is the final expression, how you are getting and what are the steps you have followed. What are the rules you have applied to simplify this into your final expression? My question is clear. Am I clear? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me. Now tell me. Simple question. What I have asked, simple question only. Use your normal mathematics techniques. What you are using generally. What we can take. How I can simplify that expression. In what way?
A dash
A bar
C plus A B dash.
Now what? If you are saying the final expression.
Yes, sir.
If you are saying final expression here, tell me what is the final expression?
A dash C plus A B dash.
A dash C plus
A B dash.
A B dash. Now, can you please tell me the steps what you have followed from step by step? Why? Because the others can understand. Others are whether they are also doing the same thing or whether you are doing mistake or we can see whether this is the final expression, final simplified expression or we can simplify further. We can check. Now tell me, can you tell me step by step what is the first step you have done?
From first two terms A dash C I took common, sir.
From first two terms you have took A dash
C.
C. Why? Because A dash C as common in first two terms. Now,
B
if you
dash
take
plus
common,
B
this will become B dash
plus
plus
B
B. B dash plus B. Now,
plus A B dash.
plus we
A B
have
dash.
not changed anything as the third term. We have not changed anything as third term. The third term will be as it is AB dash. The third term will be as it is AB dash. Now, what you have
B
done in the
dash.
next step?
B dash plus B is 1.
Just
A
now we
dash
have
C.
seen Boolean algebra rules b dash plus b equal to 1. By using that rule, what is that rule? Can you tell me what is that rule? Is there any complement or what is the law or what is the postulate? What is the law? B dash plus b equal to 1. Now we can say that complement law or something. I can say it is a complement.
Yes, sir.
Now b dash plus b equal to 1 or R law. You can call it as a R law. Just
R
now
law.
R law. Why? Because the R operator, what you can see is R law or R operator complement law. Whatever the law you are using now, this will become 1
A B dash.
A B dash. Now we
A
know
dash.
that x dash 1 or 1 dash x dash x into 1 or 1 into x equal to 1.
X.
Okay, by and law x into 1. Now
Uh,
this I can write it as this. Everyone, are you understanding? Everyone, are you following what we are doing here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is the simplified expression. I can't further simplify this. I can't further simplify this. Why? Because there are no common terms. I cannot I can't do anything. This is my final simplified expression. Why I want this final simplified expression? Why I want this final simplified expression? Why? Because why I want this final simplified expression? Now, how many gates are required here? Now see, how many gates are required? 3 NOT gates are required. Actually 2 NOT gates. Okay, 2 NOT gates. For C, here we have not seen any C complement. Definitely 2 NOT gates are required. 2 NOT gates. 3 AND gates. 3 AND gates.
OR gate.
3 AND gates. 1 OR gate is required or not? But see here, how many gates are required? What?
Only 2 and gates, no, sir.
Not this expression. I am not talking about this expression. I am concentrating on the first expression, first circuit, in my first circuit. This expression.
3 NOT gates.
Okay, I have drawn third NOT gate, but we have not used this one. Are you understanding what I am saying? I have drawn the NOT gate, but I have not used it anywhere. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
I have drawn here. I have drawn 3 NOT gates, but I have not used this NOT gate. I have used only 2 NOT gates, 3 AND gates, 1 OR gate. 1 OR gate. How many gates totally? 5 plus 2, 6 gates are required. Now see here, 2 NOT gates are required, 2 AND gates are required, and 1 OR gate is required. Okay, we are reducing 5 gates. Not only 5 gates. Here it is a 3 input OR gate. It is a 3 input AND gate. Sorry, it is a 3 input AND gate. It is a 3 input AND gate. But see here, I need here only 2 input AND gate. Here I need only 2 input AND gate. Are you understanding? Are you able to follow what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Sir, please repeat, sir, once again.
I want to repeat. Okay. Now see here. Now, if I draw directly this expression, if I draw a circuit diagram for this expression, if I draw a circuit diagram for this Boolean function without minimizing, this is my circuit diagram. This is my circuit diagram. In this circuit diagram, how many gates I have used? I have used 2 NOT gates. Are you following? Those who have asked repetition, 2 NOT gates. I have drawn third NOT gate. I have drawn 3 NOT gates, but I am not using this one. Anywhere. The used gates are 2 NOT gates. And how many AND gates I have used? Please tell me. This is
3.
First AND gate, second AND gate, third AND gate. How many OR gates I have used? 1 OR gate I have used. 1 OR gate. This is 1 OR gate. These are the 3 AND gates. Okay, this is my OR gate. Okay, this is my 1 AND OR gate. Totally, if you count total gates, how many total gates are there? 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. Totally 6 gates are required. Now, when this circuit I have designed before minimization. Now what I have done by using the rules, by using the laws, what I have learned in my Boolean algebra, I have simplified this expression from this expression to this expression. This is my simplified expression. From this expression to this expression. Why I am simplified this expression? Why? Because if I am designing the same circuit for this expression, I need less number of gates. I required less number of gates, and the circuit complexity also reduced. That is the reason we are minimizing our logical expressions by using our Boolean algebra postulates, theorems, or rules. Am I clear? Am I clear, everyone? Now your doubt is clear. Those who are not getting properly, now you can understand. Now you are understanding the concept what I have explained.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is the reason we are simplifying our Boolean functions. Okay. Simplifying our Boolean functions. Now, actually, what is the concept I am explaining Boolean function? Sir, why you have drawn this circuit diagram? Why? Because in future, we are drawing those circuit diagrams to explain this concept, to explain